Welcome to Zoology Valla. My dear friends, today I am going to explain you about the pericardium. What is pericardium? Pericardium is nothing but the layer which surrounds the heart, isn't it? You may think that what is there to explain in pericardium? It's a layer which helps in protection, obviously, something like pleura in lungs. Of course, it is correct. But here, especially the layer which surrounds the heart, pericardium, definitely needs some attention. You see, the layers, all these are the layers which are present in the pericardium. If you observe the pericardium, means or we can say in another way that these are all the components which are present surrounding the heart, not only in pericardium. You see, this is the pericardium, and in fact the pericardium is a double layer, is having two layers. The outer layer is called fibrous pericardium, and this is an outer layer. And this outer layer is called fibrous pericardium, and inner layer is called serous pericardium. Two layers are present, outer fibrous and inner serous pericardium. Outer fibrous pericardium is made with the dense irregular connective tissue, and serous pericardium in fact is a double layer again. For example, imagine this as an outer layer pericardium, that is fibrous pericardium, and the inner serous pericardium in fact it is not a single layer, it is double layer, and outer layer is called parietal layer, inner layer is called visceral layer of serous pericardium. And in fact this parietal layer of serous pericardium merges with the outer fibrous pericardium, and thus is the visceral layer of serous pericardium, inner layer of the serous pericardium. And this visceral layer of serous pericardium is the exact layer which closely adheres to the surface of the heart. And you can see a slight gap between this outer parietal layer of serous pericardium and inner visceral layer of serous pericardium, and that is called pericardial space. In fact, our pericardial fluid is going to stay there. And on an average, 50 ml of pericardial fluid is present, and it contains some lactose dehydrogenase, albumin protein is mostly present in it, and some other proteins are also present. Calcium, sodium, chloride contents, all these are present inside that pericardial fluid. Okay, and this parietal layer, visceral layer, between these two layers there is a space. Why? Because this parietal layer merges with an outer fibrous pericardium, and the visceral layer is exactly present over the surface of heart. If you observe the wall of heart, wall, wall of the heart, in fact these are the layers which surrounds the heart. And now if you observe what are the layers which are present in the wall of heart, if you observe the layers present in the wall of heart, okay, the wall of heart contains number 1 epicardium, number 2 myocardium, number 3 endocardium. So this is an outer one, epicardium, number 2 myocardium, number 3 endocardium. These are the layers which are present in the wall, wall of the heart, and these are the two layers which surrounds the heart. Okay, that is the reason why we are considering this as peri means surrounding, cardium means heart, pericardium. Okay, and in fact if you observe this parietal layer, just now I mentioned the parietal layer will be so much close to the fibrous pericardium we can't even differentiate. Whereas this visceral layer of serous pericardium, just now I told it is closely adhered to the surface of heart, and in fact that visceral layer of serous pericardium is the layer which is present like this to the heart. And if you observe this as the heart, the wall of heart, the outer layer of the heart, the wall of the heart contains an outer layer called epicardium. And this visceral layer of serous pericardium almost merges with this visceral layer, this visceral layer of serous pericardium merges with the epicardium. That is the reason we cannot differentiate which one is the visceral layer of serous pericardium and which is epicardium. So that is the reason why we are calling visceral layer of serous pericardium itself as an epicardium. If you observe the epicardium, so this is the visceral layer of serous pericardium which is a component of this epicardium we can say, and followed by which there will be a mesothelium, and below this here you can find a very delicate fibroelastic connective tissue is present, and thus is very delicate. So here D for delicate and here D for dense. Okay. So fibroelastic connective tissue is present, mesothelium, and of course the visceral layer of serous pericardium, which is nothing but the epicardium. These are the components which are seen, and beneath all these layers we can find even adipose tissue also. Even fat is, kidney is also surrounded by the fat, adipose tissue. Okay, like that, the adipose tissue in fact provides a sort of protection. And this delicate fibroelastic connective tissue is present, and even adipose tissue is also present. These are all the components of this epicardium. Below the epicardium, the wall of heart contains another layer called myocardium, and here cardiac muscles are present. More than 95% here cardiac muscles are present. Okay, and the entire heart, of course, made with the cardiac muscles. 95% of cardiac muscles you can see in this myocardium. Myo means muscle. Study of muscle is myology, like that. And now just beneath this myocardium, the innermost layer which closely seen is endocardium. And now, just now I explained, this is fibrous pericardium and this is parietal and followed by the visceral. You can consider this as an epicardium, okay, and followed by second layer myocardium. If you just imagine this as the myocardium, and followed by, here you can find this endocardium. Endocardium. So a thin layer of endothelium is present overlying thin connective tissue. These are the components of this endocardium. And if you observe the endocardium is the innermost layer, and in fact even it surrounds the valves of the heart. VALVES. It even surrounds the valves of the heart. Endocardium. You know the major blood vessels which are attached to the heart: pulmonary artery and systemic aorta. Imagine now there is one major blood vessel, something like pulmonary artery, and here valves are present. This endocardium surrounds the valves of the heart, and also it will be in continuation with the innermost lining of large blood vessels which are attached to the heart. If you observe, this is an innermost lining of the large blood vessel, pulmonary artery, and this endocardium which even encircles the valves of the heart and will be in continuation with the innermost lining of the large blood vessels which are attached to the heart. So these are all the components of the heart, I mean to say, which may surround the heart or which are present in the wall of the heart. In fact, these are the layers which are present surrounding the heart, and these are present in the wall of the heart. Pericardial space is filled with the pericardial fluid. That pericardial fluid helps in protecting the heart from external shocks, and it something acts like a cushion. In fact, whenever you are trying to rest in prone position, then or when you are trying to take rest in sideways position during the sleeping or at the time of jumping, there should be some cushion or protective structure surrounding the heart. Then only the heart is able to bear that mechanical stress. So that mechanical stress can be taken by the heart because of having this pericardial fluid, which is a real cushion. And in fact, that is nothing but the plasma which has been filtered here. Something like the cerebrospinal fluid which is present inside the brain, cranium, cerebrum, and also the spinal cord. Of course, brain is protected by cranium. So inside the cranium, brain is present, and inside the brain, ventricles, empty spaces are present where cerebrospinal fluid is present. So that is also the cerebrospinal fluid plasma, and here the pericardial fluid, this is also plasma, and lungs are surrounded by pleura, that is also plasma. Difference just lies in composition. That's all about this video. Thank you.